Have you ever noticed your cat watching you a little too closely? Like it already knows what you're about to do before you even move? There are moments when you sit in silence, thinking nothing is obvious on the outside, yet your cat quietly changes position, comes closer, or simply stares at you with that calm, unreadable expression. And it almost feels like they understand something about you that even the people around you don't notice. Most people assume cats are independent, detached, or simply focused on food and comfort. But the truth is far more interesting, because living with a cat is not just sharing a space, it's sharing emotional signals, routines, energy, and patterns that your cat learns about you far more deeply than you realise. Your cat knows your patterns better than you do. It doesn't need a clock to know when you usually wake up, when you start feeling restless, or when you begin preparing to leave the house. It learns your footsteps, the rhythm of your movement, even the small changes in how you breathe when you're tired or stressed. Over time, your cat builds a silent map of your life, and here's where it becomes even more surprising. Your cat doesn't just observe your actions, it reacts to your emotional state. When you're anxious, your body changes in ways you don't notice. Your movements become slightly sharper, your voice tightens, and even your presence feels different in the room. Cats are extremely sensitive to these shifts. That's why sometimes your cat may suddenly sit near you, or follow you more closely when you are overwhelmed. It isn't random behaviour, it's response behaviour. Many owners think their cat is simply being clingy or asking for attention in those moments. But in reality, your cat is responding to a change it can feel, but not explain. It doesn't think in human language, but it reads emotional patterns like a quiet observer who never looks away. There's also something deeper happening when your cat stares at you for long periods. It's easy to feel a little uncomfortable when it happens. That steady gaze can feel intense, almost like it's analysing you. And in a way it is. Cats use observation as their main way of understanding the world. They don't rely on conversation or explanation. They rely on repetition, body language, and emotional consistency. So when your cat stares at you, it's not just curiosity, it's learning. It's updating its understanding of you. Over time, your cat begins to recognize patterns in your emotional life. It learns when you're happy because your movements are lighter. It learns when you're sad because you become quieter, slower, more withdrawn. It even learns when something is wrong before you fully admit it to yourself. And sometimes your cat reacts before you even consciously process your own feelings.
I'll be back soon.
Have you ever had a moment where you suddenly felt overwhelmed, and your cat appeared beside you just before or right after that emotional shift? That is not coincidence. Cats are incredibly attuned to micro changes in behaviour. They notice pauses in movement, subtle shifts in posture, and even changes in your usual routine of interaction. But what's truly fascinating is how your cat chooses to respond. Unlike dogs, who often respond with overt excitement or clear protective behaviour, cats are subtle. They don't try to fix your emotions, they simply stay close. Sometimes they sit at a distance where they can still see you. Sometimes they gently press against you without demanding attention. This quiet presence is their version of support, and the more time you spend with your cat, the more this connection deepens. Your cat also understands your habits in ways that go beyond routine. It knows the exact moments you're likely to feed it, not just by time, but by behaviour. It notices the smallest cues you repeat every day without realising it. The way you walk toward the kitchen, the sound of a drawer opening, the way you shift your posture when you're about to stand up. To your cat, you're not unpredictable. You're a system of patterns. But here's something even more surprising. Your cat also learns your emotional reactions toward it. It knows when you're happy with it. It knows when you're frustrated. It knows when you're ignoring it on purpose. And over time, it adjusts its behaviour accordingly. This is why some cats become more affectionate with certain people in a household. It is not random preference. It is emotional learning. If a cat feels safe and understood, it will show more trust behaviours. Slow blinking, staying in your space, following you quietly, or choosing to sleep near you. These are not just cute actions. They are signals of emotional comfort. And perhaps the most overlooked part of all this is how your cat remembers you in emotional context, not just physical presence. It doesn't just remember what you look like. It remembers how it feels around you. This is why your cat can recognize your return even before you fully enter a room. It's not magic. It's familiarity with sound patterns, footsteps, timing, and emotional rhythm. There is also a quiet intelligence in how your cat responds when you're not okay. Some cats become more observant, some become more physically present, and some simply stay nearby without demanding anything. It is a form of emotional alignment, not instruction. And yet, many people underestimate this connection because it is silent. Cats do not announce their understanding, they demonstrate it through presence. The deeper truth is that your cat doesn't just live with you, it studies you. Not in a scientific way, but in a survival-based emotional way that slowly turns into trust. And somewhere along the way, something unexpected happens. You start understanding your cat too. You begin to recognize its moods, its silence, its subtle requests. You start noticing that your bond is not one-sided at all. It becomes a shared language built without words. So the next time your cat looks at you from across the room, or quietly sits beside you when nothing seems to be happening, remember this. It may already understand more about you in that moment than you understand about yourself. And in that quiet understanding, something very rare exists. A connection that doesn't need explanation, only presence.